Oh dear, as announced on Monday, Donald Trump is serious and these are the consequences. But will it stay this way or are there also positive prospects? Welcome to Crypto Owl. Well, I already mentioned it on Monday, and what everyone thought was an April Fool's joke, he actually went through with it on April 2nd. Specifically, the US tariffs. They are now in place and have, of course, shaken the market. Who is surprised? It was actually to be expected. Let's dive in and take a look at the massacre. You have to call it a massacre. Let's go in and examine it more closely. What exactly happened here? You can see it clearly in the hourly chart. The US tariffs came during the night, at least for us. It was night, and there is the market. We are just focusing on Bitcoin now. It plunged down by 7% here. Of course, many shorts that were already opened. Some of them were already picked off here. That's why it briefly went up again here, because the market prepared for it and opened many shorts and many longs that were still opened or that picked off the shorts emerged here. And then the announcements came and it quickly went down and it was caught again at the bottom by picking off longs and shorts, by opening longs. So, the auto market makers did their part and of course the traders as well. And that's why the whole thing currently looks like this. In a 4-hour chart, you can see it very clearly. There was a red candle that came in here. Yes, and that's the overview of these tariffs. These are the most important ones. And here I have it again as an image. Indeed, Donald Trump did it with a massive list of higher tariffs. What did I write there? Tariffs, of course. Is he hoping for more domestic production in the USA and up to 600 billion in additional revenue through these tariffs? China 34, European Union 20. What does he have against Cambodia? 49%. Yes, crazy, 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 crazy. You can find the entire list on our Telegram. So if you're not following me on X yet, to get all these news updates, you should at least be in our Telegram group. Or you can simply do both. Follow Eula Crypto on X and join the group on Telegram. There, you'll find out everything. There is the complete list of the current situation, and then you won't miss any news. You can find the links in the video description, of course. And then, of course, it started right away, and the whole thing had to be pushed through quickly. So he stepped on the gas here. He really rushed it through to enable these tariffs. Yes, not nice, but perhaps a little chuckle at this point. That's how it ultimately looked in the crypto market. For Bitcoin, everything went down. Bitcoin 3 bottom. That was after it had stabilized. For companies, it was almost 10%. And for XRP, it was 15. Almost. And yes, the whole market naturally went down. And if we stay with the market update or stay where we see the charts, we can see, of course, that not only the crypto market has suffered here, which is extremely red, with a few exceptions, of course, but we also see, for example, let's stay in the crypto market for now, specifically Firm. It was hit hard, of course, but so were all the others. Let's take Cardano, for example, which is included at the top. Avalanche, basically, everyone listed up there was also hit. Solana, for example, is also here, and it was hit hard as well. But not only them, the stock market too. Take a look at that. It has gone down significantly, no question. So it has moved drastically, also in the DAX, the German stock index. It also corrected downwards, especially after the US market opened. We can see that right here, then, it went down extremely. Hourly chart, then you can see it better, especially after the US markets have now opened. A lot has happened there. The S&P 500 has plummeted, and we know that the S&P 500 and Bitcoin are correlated. And as a result, the Bitcoin price has also been dragged down again in the last hour. But most of it, of course, it got directly because this market is open 24/7, meaning at any time of day or night. In the stock prices, Meta, meaning Facebook, WhatsApp, etc., as a globally operating company, has been hit extremely hard. The crypto stock Coinbase has also been affected, although it has corrected a bit upwards again because the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are actually standing positively, especially the Bitcoin ETFs. There is active buying going on. It is very interesting to observe right now. Then Apple, also as a globally operating company, which of course relies on exports, imports, etc. It has, of course, also been hit hard. Another one that has been hit hard is Nike. The additional tariffs have drastically catapulted Nike downwards. You can already see that in the futures. But also recently it has gone extremely downwards. And it looks like this. A bloody market. A total of 1.65 trillion was wiped out in the US stock market, and that within a few minutes after the market opened. But you could already see them in the futures because the futures are always open. That means you could already observe at night that the stock futures went extremely down. Yes, and you can take advantage of this. Buy and trade cryptocurrencies conveniently with ZoomX. ZoomX is the official crypto exchange partner of the Haas Formula One team. With their partner OnRamper, you can easily deposit euros or other currencies via credit card, bank transfer, and other options, and receive Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies directly. Buy and sell conveniently through their spot trading in the various cryptocurrencies they offer. For future traders, this exchange offers a lot as they have a wide selection of cryptocurrencies, including some that are not listed on spot. Futures also offer a lot here, with leverage up to 150 on various cryptocurrencies, and you can even trade CoinM, meaning you can go long on Bitcoin with Bitcoin, and traders worldwide are active here, allowing you to copy trades. In April 2025, something very special awaits us in copy trading, namely the lucky draw. Up to 10 Bitcoins will be raffled off, along with Formula One merchandise and even VIP tickets. Has this piqued your interest? Then use the link in the pinned comment or video description to receive additional bonuses with our partner ZoomX. Of course, it's not nice to see at first, but we know there's a bigger goal here, which I would like to address shortly. But it's also logical that all the countries won't just stand by and let this happen. And that's why China has already announced that they will take countermeasures against these US tariffs. This means that the trade war is entering the next round. But when will the final round follow? The whole situation is quite interesting. Here is the explanation or the announcement. There are more articles about it. It's quite shocking to see. Yes, and not only China, but others are also imposing counter tariffs or preparing them. Vorkan has worked through the whole situation and has written it down. The EU is preparing something. Germany is calling on the EU for united pressure against the US tariffs. China firmly rejects tariffs, but announces countermeasures. So, there will be no tariffs coming. But one can be very curious about the countermeasures. Japan describes the tariffs as regrettable, demands exceptions, and plans quick responses. So we see that across the board, everyone is in turmoil. And everyone is saying, we have to do something about it. And we know what Donald Trump's goals are here. By now, it's no longer said to be $6 trillion, but rather between $6 to $7 trillion that Donald Trump has to raise. Still this year, in 2025, for the interest one must consider for the interest of the USA, not for new investments, for new opportunities, but only for the interest. With the tariffs, it has been calculated that it is around. The whole thing is not on all products, and it's also not necessarily that everyone pays it now and that trade remains the same. Trade will likely decline. There is talk of 600 billion that could come in as additional revenue. But those who have followed my videos closely know that it's not about generating additional revenue through tariffs, but about making the market uncertain, stirring up uncertainties, showing. Watch out, US Treasury bonds. That's something secure. You can invest there. The state receives the money and can already deduct it from its $6 trillion. So, US bonds are an important topic for Donald Trump. That's why he also called upon the stablecoins. Watch out. You can operate with us in the USA. The condition is, however, you must invest your capital in US Treasury bonds so that we receive money. You will earn interest on it. Win-win for both. And I don't need to take out such a high loan. And of course, the main goal he has, which I've mentioned a few times already, I know many don't want to hear it anymore, but it is so. It's simply a fact. He needs low interest rates, an uncertain market, probably higher unemployment, and also the issue of less import and export. This means that the USA becomes more self-sufficient. That is also one of his goals. But for the interest rate cut, it's also important to simply weaken the economy. The Fed, meaning Jean-Paul and the members of the Federal Reserve, the US Central Bank, see the economy is not secure. Stock prices are falling, unemployment is rising. We have to lower the interest rates because they only have one lever, namely interest rates up, interest rates down, and maybe sometimes keeping them in the middle. And the last time we kept the interest rates the same. And Donald Trump directly said, if I were Jerome Powell, I would lower the interest rates because that is his goal. He has to take out a huge loan, Whether it ends up being 5 trillion or 6 trillion or even more, it doesn't matter. He needs low interest rates, and that is currently his most important goal. And he is willing to accept anything for that. Weakening the economy, etc. I think Elon Musk, who is the Doge chief and also a friend of Donald Trump, would not approve of that. He would say, hey, that's not cool. But Donald Trump would have told him, look, I have to do this. I need low interest rates. I need additional revenue. I have to finance these 6 trillion cheaply to end up looking good here. But believe me, it won't stay that way. It's like if you look further and say, look, what happens when he has the 6 trillion? Then the whole thing will be completely revised, the tariffs will be withdrawn, etc. And now one might wonder why he would take it back. If he raises the tariffs now, then he will eventually raise everything as well. Donald Trump would not tolerate seeing such images where it is calculated for him, look, under Biden and Obama, it was actually quite good. And during your first term, it was actually good too. What happened in your second term? Then it didn't go so well, did it? He will not tolerate that. And of course, he is a man from the business world. It is not his goal to drive the economy into the ground and keep stock prices down. Of course, everything has positive effects if he achieves his goal. First, interest rates go down. Second, he gets his 6 trillion. Third, with low interest rates, you can of course go ahead and promote additional investments. In other words, people go and say, hey, look, the interest rates are currently favorable. I could invest here, or I could buy stocks right now. I could buy Bitcoin. I could perhaps build houses, buy houses, renovate, etc., which all stimulates the economy, remove tariffs again. The economy gets stimulated again. So you see, his long-term goal is not high tariffs, crashing the economy, destroying everything. It is a short-term measure, not a goal. It is a means to lower interest rates because that is his goal. I know, you probably can't hear it anymore, but it just needs to be explained clearly and plainly what is happening here right now. At the end of the day, it concerns the whole world, your environment, your life. Everything revolves around one thing: money. And if you manage your money well, you have a great life, you have less. I wouldn't say worries, but fewer thoughts about this topic of money. But if you're out and about and you spend money quickly and there's still so much month left by the middle of the month, then it's obviously a big issue that many people say, yes, I have money problems, I can't manage money anymore, and they worry about money. So it's clear that the whole life revolves around money. And even here with such games, at the end of the day, everything revolves around money. Donald Trump still has one problem, and that is China had said, we are preparing countermeasures. China holds a lot of dollars in cash, but also a lot of US government bonds. And this could become an interesting topic. That's the only point where I say the whole thing could backfire. So if China goes ahead and says, look here, I would like to redeem US government bonds, I would like my money back. That could become a bit problematic. But let's see when the time comes. You are definitely updated here on this whole topic, and I hope many people finally understand what is actually happening here. So he is not going to drive the economy into the ground in the long term. That's not his goal at all. He is a man from the business world. He owns stocks himself. He wants everything to run smoothly. And his guys, Eric and I don't even know the name of the other one, the older one, the two of them, founded American Bitcoin. They have bought into one of the largest mining farms, I believe with 20%, and have turned it into American Bitcoins or American Bitcoins, something like that. And they want to establish a strong presence in my business and support Bitcoin and promote it in the USA. And then you really don't think that he will drive the whole thing into the ground? No. We will definitely see the Bitcoin reserve. We will see that the tariffs are rolled back. So the outlook is actually positive, but first we have to get through this dry spell. I believe 2025 could be the first year, and hold me to it, I know you will anyway. 2025 could be the first year where we don't see a summer slump. Why? Because I can well imagine that by summer this whole issue of tariffs, etc., will be resolved. That it will be said, look, now he has achieved his goal, interest rates down, now he takes the credit, everything is paid, everything is financed, and then he rolls back the tariffs and trade goes up again, and the interest rates are also low, so win-win for everything, and that could happen in the summer, but of course it could also extend beyond the summer. I am very curious how long this will all take. Let's stick with Bitcoin and crypto. Nam. Michael Saylor made a great statement because it's simply true. You can't just say it. And he went and said the issue of tariffs. Yes, quite simply, there are no tariffs on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is tradable worldwide. No one can impose tariffs. No one can impose higher fees here. But the miners could say now it's a bit more expensive. Fine. But then the blockchain is also utilized. So there are no tariffs on Bitcoin. Everyone needs to internalize that. Everyone needs to know that. And Bitcoin is probably the best investment in the current time where money is uncertain, where fluctuations are extreme, where stocks are also currently dropping extremely. And yes, one of the winners of the whole thing, let's go out again, is actually gold. But gold also reacted negatively overnight because, yes, when gold is traded internationally or worldwide, there will naturally be import and export tariffs. But in principle, this is the digitally traded gold, and it reacted positively again after the market was so uncertain. Many people probably withdrew their money from the stock market or probably also the crypto market and then reinvested in gold because humanity still knows that gold should be held as a reserve, that gold will always have value, and humanity will still get to know Bitcoin, what Bitcoin is actually capable of. But many still say we pull the plug and then Bitcoin is over, but hey, I don't think that will happen at all. Try living without electricity for 2 days. Have fun with that. Yes, the whole topic is extremely exciting, and of course, we will always be exposed to extreme fluctuations in the crypto market due to such things, especially now because Trump has this goal of low interest rates, and he absolutely needs these low or lower interest rates. And we could even expect that even more will come to weaken the economy and also the stock market, so that Jerome Powell is forced, or the Fed is forced, to lower the interest rates because, as I said, they only have this one lever, neutral, interest rates up or interest rates down, and with something like this, neutral is shaky. So neutral was the last interest rate decision, and it will go down. Now, of course, it remains exciting. Will it go down drastically with maybe 0.5%? That is 50 basis points, or 0.25, which would be a small start, but it will not satisfy Donald Trump. Now, in principle, June Powell is the one in charge. Donald Trump has delivered or has done what he wanted to move June Powell to lower interest rates. Exciting topic, especially in the USA. You can't say otherwise. My tip, subscribe to the channel, like the video, spread the video for all the people who still say yes, what he's doing, the nutcase. No, he has a goal, and he is pursuing this goal, and whoever has understood the goal also understands what is going on here right now. Our statements, like Robert Habeck, yes, these tariffs from the USA, that's like the war of aggression by Russia on Ukraine, that's totally exaggerated. So you just notice again, there are people who still haven't understood what it's about. There are also people who just exaggerate extremely, and that's why TV off, YouTube and Twitch on. In this sense, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.